It's been rough sledding for the Bucs since the All-Star break, but they made a trade to bring back Aramis Ramirez. Is it the answer?
Welcome to the Steel City. Is everybody ready to go? Let's proclaim the greatest radio show.
Welcome, fans. Thanks for tuning in to The Spread. I'm your host, Jim Sella, in studio with J Dash and Big Easy. Dash, the Buccos, 2-7, something like that, 3-7. They're just terrible after the All-Star break. I don't think they've won a game.
3-5, I believe they are, right? Easy?
I don't know.
Not enough
Something
wins
like
and
that.
too many losses.
Yeah, I mean, they got swept in the first series, and then the second series they won one game, and then they just beat the Nationals 2 games, so yes. But we identified some team needs earlier. We were talking about a bench bat, a reliever, and maybe a starter bringing in, but then Jordy Mercer went down, so that changed the team needs, and they went out and made a move pretty quick, bringing in Aramis Ramirez. Now, Mercer, he's expected to miss another month and a half. And before they brought in Ramirez, it's been Brent Morel and Pedro Florimon playing most of the time. Now, Morel did come up with a big hit last game, but these are not starters on a Major League Baseball team.
They're not starters on our beer league softball team.
Well, Florimon, he's a good defender. You can't question that, but he just has no bat. Although one season he did put up 9 home runs, but if you look at that guy, it's kind of surprising that he hit 9 home runs in a season.
Before we get too deep into Ramirez, is there any truth to the Pirates wanting to bring back Clint Barmes?
Yeah, I'm sure there is some truth in that.
Horrible.
Because,
Yes.
well, now that they brought in Ramirez, it's probably not going to happen because you got Gung at shortstop. But he is a good shortstop. He knows the Pirates, and he's hitting the ball very well this season. He's actually hitting over 280 this season. So, I mean, taking a look at it,
If they would bring in Clint Barmes, that'd be the worst.
Yeah.
Like, come on. What are you,
Anybody's
you're
better than
struggling that-
Barmes.
Yeah,
Get
Florimon.
somebody.
Florimon
Yeah,
is better than Barmes.
Exactly.
no, you're
F
dead wrong
Barmes,
about that.
dude.
No, I'm true. I'm dead true on that.
You're out of your mind.
We're
Listen,
done with Barmes. We don't need these washed up. I
Well,
mean,
listen, when you have injuries and it's close to the deadline, we went over this time and time again, man. It's not like shortstop is this position where there's all these hitters. It's hard to
well, like
find
you
hitters
said, we
at
got
shortstop.
Gung. We got Gung.
Yeah,
there.
now we're not going to make the move. This was before Aramis Ramirez. They were talking about Clint Barmes.
Okay.
Although, I mean, if you brought him in as a 25th man or something, you can't be completely upset with it. It's better than what they have right now.
Disagree.
I'd go with Serpico over freaking. I'd play Serpico at shortstop than Clint Barmes.
Barmes hits the ball better than Serpico. And he's a better shortstop defender. Now,
Even if we didn't bring in
Serpico's
Ramirez,
better.
I don't think we would need
Does
Barmes.
Barmes even know how to hold the bat? Is my question.
I
'Cause
told you, he's
just
hitting
horrible to
283
play.
this
What about
That's gotta be
J-Hay?
a
J-Hay's
typo.
only, what, a month? Was he a month away, or how long has it been for him so far?
He has
I don't know.
at
3
least
weeks?
another month,
Month?
3 weeks to a month, yeah. But in this Aramis Ramirez trade, this is why I like it, because they pretty much gave up nothing.
I did like the trade.
I mean, this guy, I'm not going to say he's terrible. He's 23 years old, and I'm talking about Jonathan Barrios. It's Jonathan, yes. And
Jonathan.
it starts with a Y, but I believe it is Jonathan.
It's a silent Y. Carry the J.
Carry the J. Well, listen, he has a 2.68 ERA in 40 and a third innings between AA and AAA this season, and he's shown the ability to hit 100 mile an hour on the gun.
He's on steroids.
So this guy isn't a bust by any means at this point. I mean, he could be a bust in the end, but we'll have to see. I mean, he has some of the tools to be a good pitcher, but he's not even a top 30 prospect in the organization, according to most scouts that is in the Pirates organization. So they really didn't give up much to bring in something they really needed because, like I said, Harrison was already out. Mercer goes down. You got to do something. And I'm not huge on Aramis Ramirez. He's at the very, very back end of his career. But, I mean, there isn't a ton out there. I was thinking Juan Uribe at one point, but he actually just got dealt to the Mets. And I kind of like Ramirez a little bit better than Uribe still.
I think this is a good trade. Obviously, you just said it. The Bucs didn't give up anything, really. They gave up a guy who may or may not ever even make a roster. And Ramirez has still got a good glove, even at the end of his career. He's still a good third baseman. And I really feel like coming to a team that's competing for World Series, not trying to claw their way to the wild card, it's going to get him a little more excited. I think his bat comes alive. He's hitting good in July.
Yeah, he has a 352 average this month with a 422 on base. Now, the power isn't huge still, just 2 home runs, 9 RBIs, 7 runs. He's taken 6 walks compared to 7 Ks, though, and 54 at bats, which is very nice. And he has 7 hits in his last 4 games, so he is on fire right now. But he got off to a real slow start this season. In April, we hit 214 with a 236 on base, just 2 home runs. In May, he hit 239 with a 316, 4 home runs.
His arthritis was still kicking in.
They don't start trying to sorry to interrupt the stat.
Well, here, let me just mention
finish.
June real quick. In June, he hit 216 with a 233 on base, but he did hit 3 home runs.
He's saving it. He's saving it for August and September.
Stretch run when
He's
it
doing
matters.
it right now in July, like you were saying. Overall, he's hitting 247 with a 295 on base. Still not looking good. He has 11 home runs and 279 at bats. Everybody's saying, "Oh, this is the power we need." I heard on the Fan earlier today them talking that he should hit 11 or 12 more home runs throughout the rest of the season.
Please, who was saying that?
I don't know, one of the hosts or whatever. And
Callers,
people were calling in and saying it too. Now, listen,
Please.
This guy hasn't hit more than 15 home runs since 2012. He had 27 total over the past 2 seasons through 225 games.
So how's he going to hit 15 in the next month, two and a half months?
Well, that's what I'm saying. He has 11 home runs right now, and they want to see 11 or 12 more to give him 23 total. If he's going to hit 11 or 12, Pedro's going to hit 14 or 15. So he's up around a 30 home run hitter. Now, I'm not saying he's going to do that, but there's no way you can expect that much out of Aramis Ramirez. I could see, listen, he was hitting in Milwaukee, first of all, one of the best hitters parks in baseball, and he had 11 home runs and 279 at bats. When he goes to Pittsburgh, one of the best pitchers parks in baseball, the numbers should only go down in the power department. So I could see 5 home runs from here on out.
Speaking of Pedro, is Ramirez's bat in the lineup the reason why the Pirates are so easy now to move Pedro? They feel like they have the power covered.
But that's what I don't understand. Pedro
No,
has
that's
more
ridiculous.
power than Aramis
Yeah.
Ramirez. Ramirez hasn't even shown too much power over the past few seasons, although he is a better hitter. He hit 283 or better the past 4 seasons coming into this year. So I do expect his average to come up and him to keep hitting, but I don't see the power coming. He has less RBIs than Pedro. He has 42 and 279 at bats. He doesn't score runs at all. I mean, this guy's slow. Pedro's actually a little faster than him and a better base runner than him.
Pedro's base running. He's probably the best base runner we got.
Yeah, he actually is a pretty good base runner. Ramirez not taking many walks this season, just 16. Although he doesn't K a lot. That is one nice thing about this guy is he's a power bat that doesn't K a lot. Now, he's not going to give you a ton of power, but it is hard to find a guy that can put the ball over the fence without K-ing a lot.
He was a power bat.
He only has,
11
3
home
less,
runs still isn't terrible. I
3
mean,
less
that's
home runs
respectable.
and 5 less RBIs than Pedro. That's really not that big of a difference.
no, it's not. That's what I'm saying. That's why everybody wants Pedro
It's
out.
not a Pedro replacement. It's an addition.
Well, listen, they're
well,
saying once
Pedro's
Harrison
gonna be
and
gone.
Mercer come back, I mean, once Harrison and Mercer come back, this team's going to be pretty deep. But they're saying when they do, Aramis might get a shot at first base. And I say that is one of the dumbest things I ever heard. You're not giving Pedro any time at first. You're giving him less than a season. You're already ready to kick him out at first base. Josh Bell, they're ready to kick off first base in the minor leagues because he has 13 errors in 75 games. I've been saying this over and over again. You got to give guys more time than a half a season to figure out a position. And if you think Aramis Ramirez is going to move over to first base at age 37 years old and just know it, I think you're crazy.
He's never played a game at first base.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know why people think it's a work? Because of Moneyball. Because they watched the movie and they didn't know anything about baseball. They didn't even point out that the A's had like the 3 best pitchers, or 3 of the top pitchers at least, in the league that year with Zito, Mulder, and Hudson. And everybody thinks just because Hatterberg moved to first that anybody can do it. It's perfect. It's easy. Brad Pitt says it's a go. Jonah Hill's computer says it's good. So let's just roll with it. No, it doesn't work that easy. I'm not a Pedro defender. I've been on record of saying that Pedro is terrible for a long time. That was before the move to first base. You can't just move Ramirez over there. It's not going to work. It's stupid. The easier move would be to move Walker because he's used to that side of the field, but I don't even want him to do that. Don't do that. Don't mess with a good thing. Just then you have a good bench.
Easy. Who do you like better, Aramis Ramirez at third or Josh Harrison at third when he's healthy? I know you're a big Harrison supporter. That's one of your favorite players.
Well, I'll tell you what. If AR is getting it done at the plate, if he comes here, he's starting tonight. He comes here and gets it done at the plate for the next month. J-Hay's just going to have to platoon with guys.
What if you move J-Hay to right field if
I love
Polanco
J-Hay.
starts to struggle again?
I mean, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If Polanco's struggling, I have no problem with it. But right
If
now, there's no
anybody's
way I'm
struggling-
taking Polanco out of the lineup. Yeah, exactly. If anybody's struggling.
No first base,
can
though,
play
because he's
anywhere.
only 5'8".
Yeah,
he's not
Please
gonna
stop
play first
saying he's
base.
going to play first base, guys. It's not
He can't,
you guys.
he
you
can't
fans.
pitch.
It's too much.
Pitch first,
Or
catcher.
catch.
And he can't be starting as shortstop, I don't believe. He's
No.
not a starting shortstop. He's more of a guy that can come in and fill in at short once in a while. He's not going to be playing center field either. It would be Marte or Polanco in center field before Harrison, I
Yeah.
believe.
No, it all depends what AR does with his bat.
I think Ramirez is going to have a good time with the Buccos in the last couple weeks of the season.
Listen,
I don't know.
I hope so. But to me, Josh Harrison's still the better third baseman. And when he comes back, I expect him to take over third base and Aramis to be the one
Sitting
platooning
the
with
bench,
him.
huh? Oh,
No,
yeah.
not necessarily. I mean, he's going to get some playing time. They brought him in to help this team win. And he's too good to just sit on the bench every game. So he is going to get some playing time. And like you said, Harrison's going to be moving around too. But when Harrison isn't playing another position, I want him starting at third still.
Harrison's health is not going to be 100% till the end of this season, going into the offseason too. Even coming back from this injury, there's going to be pain in that thumb. So he may not be the everyday player, although he'll definitely get starts at third base. So it's good to have Ramirez there. We needed that depth. Losing Mercer and J-Hay at the same time, basically.
Well,
that
listen
hurt.
to this. We lost, Harrison and Mercer at the same time. And look what we have now. We have Gung and Aramis Ramirez. That still sounds pretty solid to me. You look at this lineup, I don't know how they're going to put it together, but I'd say something like Polanco, Walker, Kutch, Marte, Gung, Ramirez, Alvarez, Cervelli, and then the pitcher. I mean, that's still a solid lineup. And plus, you're going to have Harrison and Mercer coming back eventually. You got 10 good bats right there.
They're just not all consistent bats.
Well,
No.
they haven't been consistent for the last 3 years, but it gets the job done.
You know, the one thing I want to
Because
see
if
from
the pitching holds up, obviously.
the one thing I want to see from Pedro if he stays here is to get on that hot streak that he does sometimes. He hasn't had one of those this year.
Yeah, Pedro actually was one of the biggest reasons they stayed in that St. Louis series a couple years ago in the playoffs. And Aramis Ramirez this year, he's batting 185 against the St. Louis Cardinals. So we'll have to see how that turns out as well.
I think the change of scenery is going to do him good.
But I gave you that potential lineup, and it looks pretty good with Alvarez in it, in my opinion. But he is actually, like we said, expected to be dealt. There's talk of maybe Ramirez playing first base later in the season. But right now, they're said to be looking into relievers. Everybody's ready to push Pedro out, but there is no talk about bringing in a first baseman yet. So we'll have to see how that turns out. And we're going to talk about Pedro in another segment here. Go check that out if you want. But right now, it looks like they're looking into relievers, and it's either for Bastardo or Caminero. Those two are the two that aren't getting it done right now.
Bastardo hasn't been getting it done all year.
I mean, he's been better as of recent. That's why it might be Caminero now. I don't think they're going to bring in two relievers to replace both of them. And I thought they would keep Caminero because he looks like he could be a future closer for someone, but it might not be with the Pirates because he is just not getting it done right now. He is getting lit up. That fastball's great, but you need another good pitch to go with it, or else you're just going to start to get lit up after a while.
So we're all in agreement. We like the Ramirez trade.
Yeah, I like it.
A-Ram coming to
Solid
save
move.
the Buccos. Or we're going to start making A-Ram shirts. You guys can hit us up on Facebook if you want an A-Ram shirt. $55 a piece. That's
Speaking
right.
of
Spend a
A-Ram,
little
how
money,
about
nutting.
Jerome Bettis?
Yeah, Bettis sells crack and shoots at
What
people
about him?
now.
You didn't hear about it? He came
No.
out and said he used to sell crack and he shot at people.
No.
Yes.
Why would he say that?
He probably
Somebody asked
because
him.
he's coming out with a biography and
Oh, here.
you need a little something there.
Because I used to grow cocaine and I had a little what was that Family Guy episode with the pigeon drug carrier or something, and he's like, I gave him the drugs, he never come back with the money, and the next thing you see the freaking pigeon on a jet ski with gold chains. All right, Jerome, we're not going to read your book now because you already told us everything. You used to
it.
sell crack and gangbang.
That's all we needed to know.
I had an inkling that might have been the possibility. coming up in Detroit. He ain't
Yeah.
got nothing else but to gunplay.
Well, apparently both of his neighbors on each side were crack houses, so he really had no.
Sounds like when I grew up in Harmony. So,
Yeah. 10 feet up the road.
all right, wrap it.
Well, that wraps up this segment. Thank you guys for coming in studio. Thank you, fans, for listening. Fans, you can follow us on Twitter at bet_the_spread. You can follow me on Twitter at betjimthewin. Check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/betthespread. Check out our website at thespreadnews.simplesite.com. Check out our YouTube page. Check out everything that's a spread and subscribe to it all and like it all. I want to see 1,000 thumbs up by the end of the day.